Tonight on the Nightbeat, 2 young children in bad shape, 1 boy in the hospital after nearly drowning at an Airbnb, while another is being treated months after boiling water was poured on him. KSAT says those meant to protect him are now in handcuffs.
It's just the community getting together again to help each other, and that has been from day one the only source of help that we ever gotten.
It's been a struggle for some hill country small businesses to rebound after the flooding this summer. Tonight, a local band is stepping in to help out. Plus, do you have what it takes to join the ranks of the San Antonio Spurs supporter section? Why Wimby held tryouts for Spurs superfans.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Welcome to the Nightbeat. I'm John Paul Barajas. We start tonight with these two, Tyresha Robinson and Devian Marquise Wheeler. That's because boiling water was poured on a 2-year-old little boy. And on top of that, he was not taken to the hospital for months. According to an arrest affidavit in late May or early June, Robinson had just given her son a bath. And while she was in another room, Wheeler, her boyfriend, poured a pot of boiling water on the child. The affidavit adds the boy suffered severe burns, but Robinson did not take him to the hospital. Instead, she tried treating him on her own at home due to fear that Child Protective Services would take him. Both Wheeler and Robinson have been charged with injury to a child. The boy was treated for his burns and a broken arm that had already begun healing. And another 2-year-old is in critical condition tonight. This after a near drowning at an Airbnb. San Antonio police officers were dispatched to the home off of Cavern Trail near Marbach on the west side around 10:30 this morning. Police say the child may have opened the door while the visiting family was sleeping. When we get updates on that child's condition, we'll get that to you. A shooting on the top of a downtown parking garage has left 1 person dead and multiple injured. The incident happened just before 1:30 this morning at the River Center Mall parking garage. According to San Antonio police, a gun was drawn as a group of people were arguing. When police arrived, they found 1 man dead. An 18-year-old was taken to the hospital in critical condition, and a 16-year-old was grazed by a bullet. As of right now, no arrests have been made. SAPD adds several of the people who were detained have been uncooperative in the investigation. Also happening this morning, an investigation into a shooting that killed 2 people. SAPD got a call about a fight and were dispatched to the Casa del Sol apartments on the northwest side near Callahan Road and I-10. Upon arriving, they found a man with a gunshot wound at the front entrance of the complex. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. While investigating, police found a second victim who had also been shot by an apartment door. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The shooter remains unknown. The investigation is ongoing. And 2 Bexar County Sheriff's deputies are in the hospital today after a chase turned into a crash last night. According to the Sheriff's Office, a BCSO unit spotted a car weaving through traffic at a high rate of speed. They tried to pull that person over, but that turned into a pursuit. Eventually, at the intersection of North Weeder Road and I-35, the suspect ran a red light, and that's where the BCSO unit crashed with 2 other cars. The suspect got away last night, but was caught this morning. He faces charges of evading arrest with a vehicle, a 3rd-degree felony. As for the deputies involved, they are said to have non-life-threatening injuries. Making headlines tonight, the Texas Education Agency says they're investigating state educators' social media posts in the wake of the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. TEA Commissioner Mike Morath said in a letter that his agency had learned some public school teachers had posted or shared reprehensible comments related to the shooting. Morath added such comments could violate the state educators' code of ethics and encourage superintendents to report any inappropriate content through the TEA's misconduct reporting portal. More than 2 months after disastrous flooding in the Hill Country, businesses are still working to rebuild. The night team Zaria Oates was at a benefit concert for the Blue Oak RV Park, which was once a staple in Kerrville and was completely swept away by the floods. Zaria shares how friends and neighbors are helping the local business get back on their feet.
Just people are amazing. That's the reality. I mean, people are great.
This is Lorena Guillen. We've shared some of her story before after the Blue Oak RV Park she owned was swept away in the July 4th flooding in Kerrville. Then again at the Small Business Administration meeting weeks later. She's still trying to get funding, but says it's been difficult to get enough to rebuild.
About 8 weeks now that I've been dealing with the SBA, and I'm still not clear whether I'm gonna get a loan or not. It's been paperwork after paperwork. It has been absolutely a nightmare of paperwork.
Blue Oak RV Park is part of Howdy's. They lost 28 trailers in the flood.
So Corey Weaver, a musician who plays at Lorena's other business, Howdy's, a restaurant, organized this benefit for Lorena to fix up Howdy's and start over on the Blue Oak RV Park.
As we've seen, so many music benefits have happened, but I want to do something for this one, for Kerrville, for Howdy's, for the Blue Oak RV Park.
It is beautiful that everybody has come together.
But Lorena's not quite ready to use the money on rebuilding just yet.
Refund my residents for the rent they pay for July. That has been my goal since the beginning.
A goal that people attending are hoping to help Lorena reach.
After this, such devastation, to see the people come together is something I haven't seen before, and I love it.
You know, we want to see this place get back up on their feet. They've done so much for the arts and for the community, and so now we're just trying to give back and make sure that they survive.
That's why I show up to as many as I can, because I really, really hope to get these people back to where they were.
Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Lorena tells us she hopes to get electricity fixed in the back of Howdy's next, and says she wants to do anything she can to keep business coming in so she can continue paying her employees after such heartbreak and devastation this past summer. Now shifting gears and taking a look at live cam. It's been a warm Saturday or Sunday, excuse me there, weekend brain, but it's been a nice weekend overall, especially after what we've seen the past few weeks.
I mean, JP, today was a nice day. If you think it's Saturday, if we get another Sunday, another day of football,
Keep the weekend rolling.
Just keep the weekend rolling, especially because we're going to continue to see the weekend weather conditions rolling throughout the entire week. Even for kiddos going to the bus stop tomorrow morning, it's going to be continuing to wake up in the 70s and the 60s for some folks, but it's also going to be humid tomorrow morning for the bus stop forecast. And tomorrow afternoon, it is going to be warmer, about 93 degrees at pickup, mostly sunny, still seeing those hot conditions, most of us across South Central Texas, in those low 90s and in the upper 80s. But we're going to continue to see these temperatures throughout the rest of the week. But there's a reason we're seeing these warmer temperatures. I'll talk about what's causing it, plus take a look at your week forecast coming up in just a bit.
Thanks for that, Shelby. And you're not just looking at a cute pup right here. He sniffed out 500 pounds of methamphetamine in the San Antonio area this morning. All of that was hidden inside of a rail car. According to a social media post by San Antonio police, they, alongside state and federal law enforcement, were inspecting freight cars when a canine alerted to narcotics inside one of them. Inside, they found hundreds of pounds of drugs, which they estimate is worth over $1 million. Everything is bigger in Texas, including our homecoming moms. Homecoming is on the horizon in Texas high schools. And our Myra Arthur finds out just how far back the tradition of moms goes. And Wemby held tryouts for devoted fans looking to score seats in the Spurs supporter section. Our Devin Karp found the most loyal fans as he got in on the action at tryouts and spoke to Wemby himself. Tomorrow is the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month, and the League of United Latin American Citizens, or LULAC, decided to get a head start on the month of celebrations and awareness. The organization held a celebration this afternoon at the iconic Sanchez Ice House No. 1 just off of I-10 in South San Saba downtown. The event also served as a birthday party for longtime activist and LULAC leader Henry Rodriguez, who says groups like LULAC are needed now more than ever.
Right now we're in very difficult times, but it's up to us. All the civil rights organizations, people that have a conscience and say we want to make things right.
Hispanic Heritage Month runs from September 15th to October 15th. And you might be a Spurs fan, but do you want to be a Spurs super fan and earn a spot in their supporter section? Well, this morning, hundreds of people gave it their all to try out for the nearly $1,000 ticket, which places the rowdiest fans in a special section at every home game. Our Devin Karp got in on the action and spoke with Wemby about the team using his idea.
I want Wemby.
You want Wemby? We want Wemby!
It's God, my country, the kids, and the Spurs. I hate putting them down low, but
I like your priorities. I love it, man.
I love this place.
What do you like about Wemby? What makes him so cool?
Because he's tall and he can block people.
All of the Spurs have always been superheroes to me. So if I could in any way pay back the homage, even if it means dressing up, gimmicking a little bit, I'm happy to do it.
Spurs Nacho!
Wow, that's me. Impressive.
Yes.
Okay, you think you're going to beat everyone at tryouts?
Yes, I don't know. I have the Holy Spirit with me. I love that. There's one thing I love more than the orphans, and that's the Spurs.
And how long have you been a Spurs fan?
I want to be cliche and say all my life because it's true. I came out the womb yelling, "Go Spurs, go!" Everybody up high, everybody down low. He's from the San Antonio. Go Spurs, go!
It was kind of like a social experiment for me, like seeing, people of different horizons and, with different intents and energies and all ages. It was so interesting.
Dogs unleashed all night.
It looks like you're ready to start trance. I didn't even ask for nothing. So next steps are we're watching the tape, with an emphasis on the people we already noted about, and choosing the captains and choosing 70 to 150 people. It's not going to be my thing. It's going to be the team's thing and the fans' thing, and I'm just trying to use the power I have to make things move, and to allow the community to have this fun and to have this experience.
Devin Karp?
Go Spurs, go! Go Spurs, go! Go Spurs, go!
KSAT 12 News.
I love it.
Before we dissect all these amazing Spurs fans, what a weekend for Devin. Saturday, he does a story, gets to meet Mattress Mac. Sunday, get to meet Wemby.
He was telling us today in the newsroom, he was just so giddy. He was just so happy this weekend.
I mean, he's already probably the happiest guy in the world every time you see him, but his ear to ear, just grinning. The Nacho Libre Spurs fan stole the show for me with the holding the note and then your favorite line, the thing that he...
The only thing he loves more than the orphans is the Spurs.
Oh, Nacho Libre, what do you...
And I mean... That's one thing I'm learning more and more about San Antonio is everyone loves the Spurs.
When it comes to the Spurs, the 2-1-0 does not and will not disappoint.
And one thing that also doesn't disappoint, JP, is the weather. I mean, we're going to continue to see a little bit more of that so-and-so copy-paste weather every day, and it's going to be a little quiet for us in San Antonio. That high pressure we're currently seeing in areas of Arkansas, that's going to continue to sit over the next week or so as we see other two low pressure systems up in the upper portion of the Midwest, where it did produce 19 tornadoes in North Dakota alone today. It produced about 7 in South Dakota today as well. But other areas near Florida, they're seeing a few showers and thunderstorms as well. And over the next week or so, this is really going to be the weather pattern. We're seeing low pressure systems go through the northern portion of the country, giving them ample rain and ample weather and moisture and saturation. But for us in San Antonio, we're seeing the same old, that high pressure system that doesn't really disappoint. We've seen this every year in the summer with the temperatures in the upper 90s and even the low triple digits for us. But for today and even throughout this week, it's still going to produce above average temperatures. Not the triple digits we're used to seeing with this high pressure, but still going to produce some warmer temperatures as it continues to sit. But by the time we get to next weekend, that high pressure system is going to move closer to Mexico, and that low going through the upper portion of the Midwest near Minneapolis, it does have a chance to really deepen in that trough with the jet stream, basically meaning we're going to see a little bit of a dip, and that could give us some sort of tropical moisture or just some sort of moisture, especially because that's going to give them a few cooler temperatures, especially going into Nebraska, Kansas, even getting into Illinois. And that's going to give us above average temperatures as well. But also, most of the country in the central portion going to be above average for the rain. Now, we still need the rain in San Antonio. We're still in that drought. Here's the latest drought monitor that was released on Thursday. Still seeing that exceptional and extreme drought. And I know I showed this yesterday, but for anyone that missed it, this is the drought monitor that was issued Thursday. Here's where we were back in mid-May. We keep talking about the drought, but this is how bad we were in mid-May. Definitely an improvement from where we were to where we are now. We're still just seeing that exceptional drought in portions of Medina County and still that extreme in barren Medina County, even getting towards Del Rio at the Atascosa border. Now, we are still tracking a very small chance of rain, only about a 10% chance towards the coastal plains near the Rio Grande, but otherwise the weather is going to be a little quieter. Not necessarily quiet for some folks, but definitely quieter, as the rain chances are very going to be isolated for some folks. Seeing that extra moisture and that extra humidity, though, still sitting in portions of South Texas. So you're going to be waking up, seeing that humidity going throughout the day, feeling that temperature really start to warm up, and then really just have a battle with some stronger winds at some times, and really that cloud coverage, which isn't going to be too bad, I think, Larry, for some after-school sporting events.
All right.
At least I hope.
I'm sure they'll love the cloud cover. You know, 2-a-days,
cooler,
practices,
right?
sun beating down on you. You'll take the clouds all day. Thanks for that. And also, you mentioned the significant improvement in the drought monitor. Significant improvement also goes for the Cowboys. Opening the season against the defending Super Bowl champs, almost pulled it out.
Almost.
And then in this high-intensity matchup against the Giants, getting the dub.
Well, certainly Brandon Aubrey was probably the star of the game, the Cowboys kicker. But offensively, their running attack and their passing attack really complemented each other today, probably led by the ground game. Mary Rominger was there, and she has more. And staying with the Cowboys, they are not clowning around when it comes to upgrading their pass rush. Coming up.
All we had to do, we understood that we had to just get to the star.
Aubrey, does he have enough?
Get it to the star, and he gonna make the field goal. We did that and put it through.
Brandon Aubrey nailed a 64-yard field goal to send the boys to overtime today. Get it to the star, and he delivered in big board sports. And then in overtime, Aubrey kicked a 46-yarder as time expired to help the Cowboys edge out the Giants by 3. Dallas has now beaten them 9 straight times. Dak threw for 361 yards with 2 touchdowns and a pick. Running back Javonte Williams was great on the ground with 18 carries for 97 yards and a score. Boys win 40-37 in overtime. Mary Rominger has more.
Last year, the Dallas Cowboys had 6 rushing touchdowns total for the season. And this year, Javonte Williams already has 3 by himself, scoring the go-ahead touchdown against the Giants. Now, what a difference a year makes. Miles Sanders also added a touchdown. The unit racked up 135 yards total on the ground to complement the passing game.
Having like CD, George, Jake, players like that can catch the ball. It made defenders back up, lighten the box, and then that open lanes up for me and Miles.
Overall, we were just being ourselves, making routine plays, staying above the sticks, not really hurting ourselves. In the end, or in the beginning, essentially had a lot of flags, but we tried to tone that down in the second half, and the game just ramped up for us.
How nice is it to have a running game that's producing like this?
It's amazing.
You didn't have last year.
It's amazing. They're going to have to stack the box, and once there's one safety up there, it's game on.
At the end of the day, we made enough plays as a football team to win this game in the final minutes. And again, I think, that's what the story should be. We got a chance to fix things, and we need to fix things. And whether we win or we lose, we're going to fix things. And tomorrow's meeting will be a long one.
Now, Dallas will try to work to overcome its concerns defensively, but right now the offense is feeling pretty comfortable about how it's complementing each other. From AT&T Stadium, Mary Rominger, KSAT 12 Sports.
Thank you, Mary. The Lions beat up the Bears in Detroit today. Lions QB Jared Goff threw for 334 yards and 5 touchdown passes. Amon-Ra St. Brown caught 3 of those TD throws to go with 115 yards receiving. The Lions had more than 500 yards of offense, and they hammered the Bears 52-21. Chicago will host the Dallas Cowboys 1 week from today at 3:25 p.m. Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones told reporters tonight after the boys win that they signed defensive end Jadeveon Clowney during their home opener today. Jones said, quote, "He's been an outstanding player. He'll add some real depth. He's very credible. He'll help us," end quote. Clowney is 32 and worked out for the Cowboys last week. He's played for 6 NFL teams in 11 seasons and has 58 career sacks. During locker room access, Tyler Smith was asked about Clowney joining the boys.
I mean, he's an athletic freak, obviously. A big vet guy. I think he'll be good for the young guys as well. But, I think he'll be a great addition to the team. He's a hell of a player, and I think he'll come in and help us for sure.
It's time now for our Scholar Athlete of the Week, presented by Christus Children's.
Hi, I'm Jane Olivares, and I'm from Holy Cross High School, and I'm this week's KSAT 12's Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Jaden is a member of the varsity football and baseball teams and runs track and field. He's a member of the TAPS 4A Boys State Champion track team and part of the State Champion Mile Relay team. Jaden is the president of the Student Council and a member of the robotics team and the National Honor Society. He maintains a 4.10 GPA and is ranked 4th in his class. Jaden plans to run track in college and major in pre-med. Thanks, Jaden, for being KSAT 12's Scholar Athlete of the Week, presented by Christus Children's. Congratulations to Jaden.
Winning on the field and also in the classroom.
Absolutely.
Awesome stuff. Thanks for that, Larry. 'Tis the homecoming season. After the break, we get a deep dive from our Myra Arthur about the tradition of mums in Texas high school football.
Plus, this week, we're going to see more of the same with the temperatures in those mid to low 90s. A breakdown your week forecast coming up.
Welcome back to the Night Beat. It's about to be 10:30 this Sunday evening. People enjoyed a calm weekend, but will that be the case to start the week?
I know the weather team enjoyed a calm weekend, and we're going to continue to, JP, see what we've seen. I mean, temperatures today, you were waking up seeing temperatures in those 50s and 60s. Our peak temperatures today in San Antonio got to 93 degrees. Portions of the hill country stayed in the 80s, and we're going to continue to see that. But it's been a while since we've seen triple-digit days. We've seen kind of the same scenario where we're getting to those mid-90s, but not necessarily triple digits. In San Antonio, it has been about 10 days since we've seen 100-degree days, at least at the San Antonio airport. That goes back to September 4th. But our average for the temperature of the entire month is only sitting in those 80s, and our latest 100-degree day on record is September 28th. That was set back in 2005. We're not expecting any triple-digit days or any warmer temperatures, but it's fall, so we should be on the cooling trend. A breakdown when we see our first cool front coming up in just a bit.
Looking forward to it, Shelby. What would high school football and homecoming in Texas be without moms? Students in other states wear them this time of year, but Texas, as always, does it a little bit different. In this KSAT Explains, we find out how this tradition got started.
'Tis the season. Not fall, not football, mom season.
My mom said, go big or go home, I guess.
And big they are.
I want to say like 7 pounds.
Bows, braids, bling, and more give a mom its meaning.
NHS member, track, Student Council Pride and Patriotism Chair, Spanish Honor Society, and Senior Class President. My favorite part of the mom is that my mom made it for me.
This big tradition may just be a big metaphor for the oh-so-big reputation of Texas.
Big hearts, big love, big football, big community, big family, big. I'm Amy Schultz, and I'm the author of Momentous.
Momentous, a book about the origin and evolution of Texas homecoming moms.
Around the turn of the century in the 1900s, chrysanthemums were popular. They were kind of haute couture.
And they bloom in the fall. Guess what else was blooming around the turn of the century? American football. The first high school football game played in Texas was in Galveston in 1884.
But, you know, it was still kind of rough and tumble. And so what were schools to do to bring people to games? Well, so one idea was to create the concept of a homecoming.
The University of Missouri gets credited with the first homecoming moms, live chrysanthemum flowers with a few ribbons given to a homecoming date. So how did we go from that to this?
Because Texas did something different than everybody else.
After World War II, there was a baby boom in the 1950s. Then in the 60s, a population boom with more people moving to Texas. High schools were being built fast, and florists couldn't keep up.
So customization was already happening by the 60s. But florists were like, oh my gosh, these are live flowers. We can't make them weeks and weeks in advance. So the idea of introducing artificial flowers started floating around.
Florists help convince people that a homecoming mom could be a keepsake, not just something that would wilt and wind up in the trash.
And once you start believing that a homecoming mom is a keepsake that can reflect the individual who wears it, moms get involved.
And DIY they did. In the 1970s, a recession hit. Big bucks for a big mom wasn't affordable. So moms started mum making.
Michael's opened first store in Dallas in 1977. Hobby Lobby opened its first store the year before in Oklahoma City. And so suddenly all of these homecoming mom supplies came whooshing into the market through North Texas.
This is my showstopper this week. My name is Ronnie Wiggins. The name of my company is Spirited Moms by a Spirited Mom.
How did you get into mum making?
Because we were on a tight budget when I was in high school.
Ronnie makes custom mums out of her own home. Garters too for the guys or the girls, all created in a room full of ribbons.
This boa I call my standout boa.
Floor to ceiling feathers and flowers and an arsenal of glue guns.
On average, how long would you say it takes you to make one mum?
It's probably between 6 to 8 hours. Because I make all the braids, I have to do the crown, I have to put everything together.
She makes about 70 to 80 mums a year.
There have been many nights that I have forgotten to go to bed. I have forgotten to eat.
Ronnie's busy season is August to November, but even in her off season, she's prepping for next year.
So I have hangers of braids over there for different schools.
There are even mum maker retreats.
And we have discussions about marketing, social media, trends, the Pantone color of the year, because that sometimes determines what colors we're going to see in mums.
That's right, mums aren't just about school colors anymore, and they're not just for a homecoming date.
I've seen girls wear garters. Why not, right?
They're a reflection of the person wearing it.
There's a lot of personal storytelling that is going on in the mom, and especially the senior year. I've seen quite a few moms that tell the story of what that student's going to do after graduation.
People always talk about the rules for moms. Oh, it can only be from your date. Oh, it can only have this. Oh, it can only be school colors. And I always tell people there's no rules for moms. There's no rules. People have come to me and said, I want a Hello Kitty on a mum, and I want you to build a mum around that.
Then there are mum trends, and just like in fashion, they're always changing.
What are the trends right now this year?
Right now, we're still looking at croc mums, where people are doing the little mums that go inside of the croc shoe. So they're putting it like a little 1-inch flower, and they decorate it and they put it inside the croc.
I have never in my life heard of this.
The mum earrings, where people are actually making earrings that match the mum that the girl is wearing. And then, of course, the big one is the Stanley mum.
Stanley mums, a mum accessory for the insanely popular mug.
Let's make a Stanley mum.
It's blown up on social media, which is where mum trends spread these days.
Fitting about 6 inches, or however tall your Stanley mum is.
And this is a mum that goes on the Stanley.
This is a mum that goes on the Stanley.
Even though these tiny mums get big likes, Ronnie doesn't sell them.
Usually there's a cost associated with it, and it's a lot of work.
Ta-da! Stanley mom! I'll have to put this on my knockoff Stanley.
Very cute.
Speaking of cost, mums can get pricey. It all depends on what the customer wants.
$35 is where you start with garters, and as far as going up to mums, you can go up to probably about $600-700.
$600 to $700. How about that one with the boas on it?
That one is $400.
Prices can get high, but apparently so can mums themselves. A few stories in some cases.
Last year, I was able to find 13 schools across the state of Texas that made mums that were at least 18 feet tall.
Whether you order or DIY, go big or go small, mums are what you make them.
I love doing this, I really do.
And it's who's wearing them that counts most.
Mums are a love story, and I've never found any reason to think otherwise.
We all get a little bit older, and that's okay, but sometimes things remind you of how much older you've gotten, and this story did that because I had no idea that Croc or Stanley mums were a thing. All right, Don't forget, you can watch all of our KSAT episodes or explains for free by scanning the QR code or going to our library on KSAT.com. And stay tuned. Larry Ramirez gives us highlights from this weekend's biggest games and announces his play of the week. School's back in session, and we want to help you shout out the educators making San Antonio schools bright. Now is your chance to nominate your favorite educator for KSAT's Educator of the Month Award. You can do so by scanning the QR code on your screen. You can also visit our website at KSAT.com and search Educator of the Month. And taking a look at live cam, a calm, warm Sunday evening, what we've experienced for much of the weekend and potentially the rest of the week as well.
Very.
The weekend is coming to an end here very shortly, so we appreciate you still joining us. But what do we need to know for the start of the week? Will it be warm as we've been seeing the entire weekend?
Well, JP, that's why I was trying to talk over the live game the last time. But I mean, it's going to be a little bit more of the same old, same old. Still seeing the temperatures waking up in the 70s. But here's a fun statistic for everyone. Normally in September, we see our temperatures on the warmer side. That's when we get our first front, and I'll talk about that in just a second, but we are only about 13 days into the month of September, and our average already is about 82 degrees. Back in 2023, our average temperature for the entire month was 87. That was actually the hottest September on record. This year, once again, we're only 13 days in, so we're still ranked 23rd. And we still have a few degrees to go before we even get to the warmer side. But September is when we normally see our first cold front. Yes, we've seen a few already, but they're very baby cool fronts, I like to say. And I like to say cool fronts and not necessarily cold front because it didn't bring the cool and cold air specifically. We saw maybe a few degrees cooler. Now in October, we've seen only 3 days where we've seen the cool fronts, but normally our average is September 24th because as you can see in September, most of the cold fronts we get happen in that month, and sadly we're not seeing any cool fronts anytime soon, and we're still in hurricane, which is another fun hurricane season, which is another fun statistic. We've seen normally our first cold front come through September, and September still hurricane season. In fact, just a few days ago, we were at the peak of hurricane season, and it's still becoming very active. Still about a 70% chance of some development out into the Atlantic Ocean. This was a tropical wave off the coast of Africa just mere 24 hours ago, but it's continued to strengthen. However, before it gets to the U.S., there's a lot of dry air sitting in areas of the Caribbean. So that's what we're watching super closely, but we're also watching the Pacific. We have about a 40% chance of development just to the south of Mexico, but we're also watching Tropical Storm Mario. It was a tropical storm, and then just yesterday, we just saw the remnants of Mario, and it was a tropical depression, but then it re-strengthened last night into this morning and still producing about 45-mile-an-hour winds. But one thing I want to note is Mario's technically right here, but up into Mexico, we're starting to see some of the outer bands and some of that excess moisture make its way into Mexico, and that could be partly to think and partly to blame why we do have that chance of some excess moisture sitting in areas of south central Texas later this week. And part of the reason we're seeing a few showers move off the coast or move in off this side of the mountains of Mexico, moving into the Rio Grande Valley for some folks. Now, like I mentioned, those rain chances, they're very low, but they're still there. Not everyone is going to see it. And if we see anything, it's going to be in the coastal plains, maybe near the Rio Grande. But rain chances are rain chances, especially when the forecast looks like this. You're waking up with temperatures in those 60s and 70s, a little warmer in portions of the city, a little cooler in the hill country, and temperatures in the afternoon getting to those mid to low 90s. Very quiet, but still rain chances nonetheless, guys.
I know this isn't wood, but
quieter.
We're gonna knock on that.
Quieter, I should say.
Stays quiet.
Quieter.
90s and 70s, no complaints here. Thanks for that, Shelby. Looking at sports, UTSA finally on the right track in the win column after what was an impressive start against a powerhouse in A&M.
It really was a game that UTSA needed. You know, I'm going to be honest. I dislike when two local teams face off with one another because I want them both to win. UTSA beat UIW yesterday, and that was what the Roadrunners really needed. And Brad Jackson with Texas State out of Reagan High School played very well on the national stage last night. Coming up.
Oh, for sure, 100%. So, yeah, very, very excited to get the win, for sure.
Owen McCown and the Roadrunners are back in the win column in Big Board Sports. UTSA football has one of the coolest runouts in the game thanks to fire and smoke. The Roadrunners are definitely feeling better about themselves today after beating Incarnate Word 48-20 in the hometown showdown. Owen McCown passed for 238 yards and 4 touchdowns. Running back Robert Henry Jr. rushed for a game-high 144 and 2 scores. This was a sweet win for them, bouncing back from their home loss to Texas State last week.
Yeah, we responded great as a group. You know, we obviously when you lose a rival game, it kind of stings a lot. But we put it past us pretty quick. Guys did a great job sticking together. So had a great week of practice and obviously got the win.
After going scoreless in the first half, UIW made a change at QB, starting E.J. Colson over Richie Torres, and Colson led the Word to 3 touchdowns. Making the switch wasn't easy for Coach Killow.
Really hard because, really hard because I love 15 with all my heart, and I'll be there for him for the rest of his life, and I'll continue to be, and he's going to continue to be an impact leader on this football team, but that's the decision that was best.
You know, I just went in there and did my job. Coach told me, you know, at halftime, just go in there and play your 111. And, you know, I went up to the receivers in my O-line, I said, I need y'all, and, you know, it was great, and, you know, I can't say I did anything special. It was just, you know, the guys around me making plays.
UTSA leads the all-time series against Incarnate Word 2-0.
I told the guys in the locker room, you know, when you play a really good team like that on the road, we got to start faster. And, you know, good learning moment. This game will make us better in the long run.
DJ Kinney and his Texas State Bobcats lost at Arizona State last night, 34-15. Bobcats quarterback Brad Jackson rushed for a score, and he threw for another. He played very well. Texas State will host Nichols Saturday night at 7. And you know the Houston Texans are ready to host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tomorrow night on Monday Night Football. Fans are encouraged to wear white for the Liberty whiteout game. Houston will start the night at 6, live right here on KSAT 12, followed by the Chargers at the Raiders at 9 on ESPN. It's a doubleheader, but still cool to play under those Monday night lights.
Yeah, Monday night is always a little different, right? It's always a special game because, you know, you're the only show on. Well, it used to be. Now we got doubleheaders. So it definitely changes a little bit, but Monday is always special. You know the entire league is watching. Your peers are watching as they're preparing for their next week. So that's always, you know, in the back of your mind.
Always cool to play on Monday Night Football. Time now to hit the road with Aaron Sierra Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Play of the Week.
Trying to set up receivers. He's going to throw against his body to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown.
Titans hosting the Rams today. Rookie quarterback and the #1 overall draft pick Cam Ward threw his first regular season touchdown today. The former Incarnate Word QB had to scramble around, and he threw across his body, delivering a TD strike. For throwing your first NFL regular season touchdown pass, you, Cam Ward, get Aaron Sierra Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Play of the Week.
Take your helmet off, young fella. Let everybody on the national stage see who threw that touchdown pass. Good for him.
Big smile. Heck yeah, Cam Ward, way to go.
Well, then you love to see also the Titans. We all know, if you follow football, they're not the best organization. There's a reason why they had the #1 overall pick. But Cam Ward has been impressive with a team that's still trying to rebuild in his first 2
And
starts.
he's been sacked 11 times in 2 games already. That young man hasn't had time to throw.
He's making the best of it.
Yep.
Thanks for that, Larry. We'll be right back.
We have this beautiful KSAT Connect picture of the sunset and a nice little airplane taking off and landing here in San Antonio. But one thing I want to mention about this KSAT Connect picture is you see the different levels of the clouds. You see that mid-level cloud level or that alto level. And then you also see a higher level of cirrus clouds as well. So I love the multi-level cloud pictures. I think they are absolutely beautiful, but I also might be a little biased. And now good news is we're going to continue to see the different layers of the clouds throughout the next week or so, different days for different opportunities for different beautiful sunset pictures.
The meteorologist loves the clouds. What a surprise.
Yeah.
We all love the clouds, as long as it keeps some of that sun off our backs a little bit. Thanks for that, Shelby. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.